Hi, welcome to Hardy Classics, and today we're going to do something totally different than what we normally do. It's still something to do with classic cars, but not buying, selling, fixing or transporting them like you normally see us do. I got a phone call from a friend of mine who's a big Bentley Rolls-Royce specialist, repairing Bentleys and Rolls-Royces down in Newcastle, and he put me in contact with a guy called Ian. And let's go outside and I'll show you what we're doing. So, we'll take a walk of the yard. Mark's up here somewhere. Loading the car on. It's been in early all week. And we're loading this. Gorgeous Rover on. Out the showroom. Say hello, Mark. Say hello.
Hello.
Got a speaking part now. If you're wondering why we're loading this 1912 Rover, and you're wondering why I said, come on, Mark, let's have a bit of a speaking part, well, that's a bit of a clue. It's a clue for what we're doing today, because we've been asked to hire a couple of cars to a film. They're shooting a film up at 3 locations in the northeast, and we've been asked if we can hire our cars on the film set. The film set in Edwardian times, and obviously they wanted some Edwardian cars, but Edwardian cars aren't the easiest thing to drive, so that's why they've asked for a couple of drivers. There's also some famous people in this film, some British actors, Jennifer Saunders, Timothy Spall, better known as Barry off Alveda's. I just wish I had my Bedford HA van. I would have took it down and tried to sell him it. But we'll see how we get on. So this isn't the first day we've been on the film. A couple of days ago, we took another car. So let's go in the workshop and have a look. In the workshop's a little Peugeot. 1909. With, I might add, no windscreen. And there's another story to that. Explain what's happening to the windscreen after we've done a couple of days more filming. Right, so we're back from filming, and we're back with the Peugeot, and we're back with Mark, who was involved in the filming and also involved in repairing the windscreen. How did it happen, Mark?
Horse.
Horse what?
Director said, pull up next to this horse. I said, that horse all right with motor vehicles? Oh yeah, it's a stage horse. It's spot on. So pulled up next to it. Horse got scared, ran forward. It was pulling a carriage, and the side beam off the carriage went straight through the windscreen.
Went through the windscreen, but we did continue filming for a couple of days, didn't we?
Yes.
And the director actually asked me, can you get a new windscreen for tomorrow? Well, hold on, where are you going to get a windscreen for a vintage Peugeot? It's impossible, isn't it? So Mark, we made one, didn't we?
Yeah. Cut a piece of laminated glass. I think it's 2 mil, then plastic, then 2 mil. Took the beading out, resealed it, refitted it, varnished it, put all the brass bits back on. Not that difficult to do, but just
but quite a bit of labour. Materials weren't expensive, but the labour was quite labour intensive.
Yeah, a lot of little screws
to make it fit the way it did. So how did the rest of the filming go, Mark? Did you enjoy it?
That was great fun.
Yeah.
Timothy was really, really good.
Yeah. What was your part in it all? You were a taxi driver?
Yeah, I was a taxi driver, and they called this hero car. It was a chase scene with a tram through Beamish,
right?
With Timothy in the back.
Uh-huh.
And we
I noticed it said hero car, not you as a hero.
Fall guy.
Could be, yeah.
Or just want to be a stunt man.
Yeah.
So I was dressed up as a taxi driver,
right.
And we did the scene.
Did you get a tip? Don't come back tomorrow. We're going to use battery.
I could have really bet it.
Oh, yeah. One off. So let's round this up. So got the car back. Went in the workshop. You've repaired it. It's back up for sale now. Anything else to say?
Apart from it performed unbelievably.
Yeah.
It started first flick.
Yeah.
Every time he said action, and it never missed a beat.
No. And this car's been in storage for quite a while. And there was one recently on the market in 1 million bits for basically the same price as what we've got this one up for sale. So check our website out, check our YouTube, and check out this car. Right, so we're back in the garage after a week's filming. Cars are all back. Mark said his bit about the Peugeot. Come on, Pat, what have you got to say about this Rover?
So this Rover was filmed over 2 days. The first day was at Tanfield and the second day was Northumberland. Now, obviously, I can't talk too much about the scenes it was actually in for obvious reasons. You have to watch the film. But I will say it featured quite a lot from what we saw. So I think you'll see some good shots of it.
Will we see any shots of you stalling the car?
Well, you won't see any shots of me at all because, unlike Mark, I'm not an extra. I'm more I've got a laugh when I say this, but a stunt double. Because basically, on the first day at Tanfield, it was driving away from the station, and it's up a steep bank. It's tight, it's narrow, it's not something you.
Can you call that a stunt?
Well, it would have been.
We're a hill start, a stunt.
I'd like to see you do it. Basically, we wouldn't let an inexperienced driver drive this car in that scenario.
No. It's bad enough an experienced driver like me.
But so we filmed the scene there. Obviously, it was done from like a wide angle, far in the distance, so you can't see this ugly face driving it. But yeah, that was day one, basically, just leaving the station.
Did you do 2 days there or one?
We did 1 day at Tanfield, and then we did 1 day up Northumberland, Alnwick Way. Now,
was that Edlingham Mall or something?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And did you let the driver drive that day?
We did. On the second day, it was on a nice wide drive to this hall, and there was nothing really for him to hit. He was only going straight.
It's still a pretty big deal for somebody to drive one of these cars if they've never been used to them. I mean, they're a really, really hard, difficult car to drive unless you've been brought up with them. I mean, I know that people watching this video might think, oh, anybody can drive, but anybody can't drive them. They are really difficult. You've got crash gearboxes, you've got advanced retard ignition, everything's round the wrong way. So they are a pretty difficult car to drive. You've only got your brakes on the back wheels.
Well, look, the daunting things. I mean, especially when something goes wrong. I mean, it's all nice and well when the actors.
Well, that's why we had you two there. That's why Mark was there. Mark was there as the mechanic in case anything went wrong, and you were there as a driver, just in case they wanted someone to drive and they couldn't. And that's the way it worked. That them couple of days, wasn't it?
Well, anyway, the waffle over the actor Simon. He actually drove it really well. I think he'd be really happy with the shots he got out of it. So whilst we were filming, Mark had the good idea of asking the actors featured to sign the bonnet, the underside, obviously, which I'm going to show you now. If I can get it.
Yeah, can you manage?
Yeah.
So if you have a look there with the camera, turn the camera around there. You'll see there's the actors on there. Who have we got on there?
We've got Timothy Spall.
Yep.
We've got Jennifer Saunders.
Yep.
We've got Hayley Bennett.
Hayley Bennett, yeah.
And we've got the driver of this car, Simon Phillips.
Yeah.
They're all very nice, pleasant people, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's good few days.
Yeah.
But
we can't post the other side. You got my signature on.
No, we don't have his signature on. We are training him how to use a pen, though, so a couple of weeks' time we might have that.
A couple of weeks' time I might learn to read and write.
We can't post any photos or videos of the film for obvious reasons again. Yeah. But once the film comes out, we'll be posting some photos and we'll be promoting it.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll get some nice shots of the car on the big screen.
Yeah. It was an experience for everybody, I think. The other day we picked the car up down in Southport. Didn't really want to show you the guy's place. A lot of people are funny about it, and you can't blame them when they've got nice stuff lying about, but I'll just flick the camera around in a second and I'll show you what else we've been up to. So, another little job we did is the exhibition unit. We've winterised it. It's basically what we've done. We've took all the water out of it and blew it through with compressed air. We didn't get much use out of it this year, but next year we plan to go to Bewley twice, and also the Goodwood Festival of Speed and the Revival. Right, I'll flick round and show you what else has been going on. Them two pumps. Yeah, these two fat lady pumps, and I'm not being sexist or anything like that. That's what they're called, fat lady. Well, T8, fat lady. Fat lady being the nickname. Good friend of mine, Peter, restored them for us, and we're going to make a cabinet for them to sit in. Right, we'll go a little bit further. I'll show you this car. Switch the lights on, the new shed. Yeah, it's lovely, isn't she? Little MG here. Absolutely gorgeous little car there. I'll be doing a video on this car. Tell you a little bit more about it. But basically it's been in the guy's collection for a long time, and like a lot of stuff, it's time to part with it. So when do you part with stuff? Ask this question all the time. Do you leave it right till the last minute, till you're lying there thinking, you know, I should have done this before? Or do you sell it when you can, when you're fit and healthy? I don't know. Depends how much you need the money, I suppose. But I do get this a lot. A lot of people are coming to us with collections and bits and bobs they've got for sale, and it sort of brings everything into perspective without sounding morbid. But it happens to everybody. It'll happen to me one day with my collection. It'll have to go or passed on to my son, hopefully, if he's interested, which he is interested. And that's the way it is, but a lot of people have no one to pass it on to. So yeah, we do sell quite a few cars now where people are getting on and they just want to shift a bit of metal on, get a few quid, stop Kia Starmer taking it all off them, because that's what's going to happen in the future. If you've got any possessions or anything you've worked hard for and collected or and enjoyed in your life, that rotten bastard's going to take it off you, basically. So I think if you can, you know what I mean, just keep it, and then when you need the money, cash it in, as far as I'm concerned anyway. Last week we had some visitors at Hardy's Garage. Two quite famous people, a couple of TV presenters, a couple of antique dealers, might be giving it away here. We had Mr. Drew Pritchard arrived with another antique dealer called Viki, a lovely charming lady from Edinburgh. What were they interested in? They were interested in the Rover, which I had here, which has now disappeared, which was on a film night and day a couple of weeks ago with Timothy Spall and Jennifer Saunders and Hayley Bennett in, and they were really interested in that. And what was it like? What was the whole experience like, getting filmed and them buying bits and bobs off us? Well, I'll show you what they got up to. Come on. Drew's a confessed petrol head, really into his cars, but he'd never seen anything like this before. Carriage, horseless carriage, 1904 Hulsman. He was really interested in that. It's always shape. But what he was more interested in was what I had in here, because this took him back to his youth. And there you have it. Drew, a moped-holic. He was really, really taken aback to his youth when he saw all these. Told us one or two stories about when he was a kid, how him and his mate went Tuesday up to I think it was a music festival, he said, on a GP100, which is no mean feat, and how he used to cut the mud guards off these things and drive them over the tip, like most of us used to do when we were kids. But yeah, he was really interested in the mopeds. Obviously, he's an antique dealer, so he's interested in antiques, enamel signs, and I mean, look at the collection of enamel signs we've got here. We've got enamel signs advertising more or less every petrol brand, oil brand, tyre brand. Viki, coming from Scotland, she was quite impressed with this Rapson tyre sign. Obviously, it was the kilt that drew her to it. So I showed Drew all my collection. He was enthralled with the Atco car. I tell the same story about the World War and how the tanks, the engines were used in tanks and bits and bobs. Again, the Marina van, that took him down memory lane. Also interested in the clocks, the advertising clocks. He said he'd sold loads of these over his career. And he explained about the petrol pump globes, how they were all original, how they were made of glass, how they were so old and survived on the top of petrol pumps. So how did the filament come about? I've actually no idea. I don't know whether one of his researchers had watched my YouTube channel, or somebody had told somebody else, or whatever. But one of the researchers got in touch with us basically and said, could we come and film? Could come and Drew and Viki buy some bits and bobs, and that's basically how it happened. So let me show you where else I showed them. So we had a couple of vans out there. We had the milk float there, obviously not that transit van, that's just being parked there. And I took them into this part of my little museum. Again, I had the doors down, and once you pop the doors up and you look inside, they were pretty impressed. Because like I say, Drew, self-confessed petrol head. If you're a self-confessed petrol head, you're going to love it in here. That's a fact. So he walked round, he was impressed with obviously the petrol pumps, the cars, and the automobilia. So, what's it like having a professional film crew, somebody off the TV coming to your place? To be honest, it's a little bit daunting really, when you've got strangers and you're talking into a camera and they're bouncing questions off you. It's a little bit difficult to get in your head, if I'm honest. And they're there all day. You know, I mean, they try and make you feel relaxed, but you're still conscious of them doing a lot of strange things in your space. But they did make us feel pretty relaxed. They were there for 10 hours, which is a long time for possibly only 5 minutes worth of filming. Drew and Viki, like I say, Drew, really nice guy, had a good talk to him. Right on my wavelength with the petroleum armour and the petrol and the cars. Massive petrol head. I didn't realise. Viki, lovely kid. Good collector. Obviously, good businesswoman. She's got a good shop up there in Edinburgh, which I plan to visit in the summer. Really nice. Good. Day went well. Long, but well. So I'll take you into the next shed and I'll show you whereabouts they bought, because I can't actually tell you what they bought. Don't worry, Drew, I won't spoil it for you. So in here, yeah, the rummage round. This is sort of a storage shed I've got, bits and bobs before I put it on display. Then I rummage round. I took a few bits away, and basically that's all I can tell you. But that was at the end of the day anyway, and it was freezing as well. Really cold that day. As I said, Drew Pritchard, massive petrol head. I couldn't let him leave without showing him around my car showroom. I think he was impressed. So we give Drew the guided tour of the showroom, which I think he was impressed. It impresses me every time I come in because it's my showroom, I suppose. Showed him 1 or 2 cars, including this one. There's another one in the workshops we showed him. To be fair, he loved all the cars in here, but if I'm honest, he was more taken aback with that van. So Drew, if you want to buy that Morris Minor van, or anybody wants to buy that Morris Minor van, it's up for sale at Hardy Classics. Check us out on YouTube, follow us on Facebook or Instagram. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, it makes us want to go out there and make more interesting videos. Bye bye now.